Okay, so today we're going to change the brake pads on a Mitsubishi Delica. It's pretty much the same on most cars. I'll try and explain some differences as I go. The first thing you need to do is take the cap off of the brake fluid reservoir. It's going to be in different places on different cars. Here on the Delica it's here. Just pop it off. I'll explain why later. Okay, so first things first, jack the car up and take the wheel off. You'll see the brake disc and caliper and the carrier here. It's all a bit mucky because I haven't driven it for a while. All we need to do is remove the caliper. Okay, and to do that, there are two bolts, one at the top and one at the bottom. They're 17mm bolts on the Delica. They're attached to the cage that holds the caliper in place. So these are the carrier bolts. They allow the caliper to slide in and out. So first off, I'll take them off. I need a different tool. Okay. Whilst they might be tight initially, they should be fairly easy to undo once you've got them loose. Because hopefully, the last time you did it, you greased them up properly. Undo a bit and then this should just slide out. Like so. Clean those up in a minute. Now the caliper, you just want to get it out of the way. It might be a bit tight, but it should just slide off. Okay. I'm wrapping it up with a bungee cord here because I don't want it supporting its weight. I don't want it supporting its weight purely on the hose. Let's try and get some weight for that. Okay. Now you've got access to the brake pads. Should just slide out. These ones aren't actually that bad. We had a few thousand more miles in them. So coming back, just slide out. Now, don't throw these away because it's unlikely your newer brake pads came with them, but they do help slide. Do help the new pad slide. These ones are going to need a bit of a clean. Just making sure all this stuff is lined up properly. Doesn't hurt to just scrape some of this muck away either. Just caked on grease. I'm also just going to give the carrier bolts a quick clean. Some nice fresh grease on there. Now, quite a lot of these parts need to be greased as they go in. You don't want to get any grease on the brake disc or on the surface of the pads. That will affect your braking. You need a lubricant that handles heat, because otherwise it'll get baked on. Don't put copper grease in there because that bakes solid and makes everything a nightmare to get out, and nothing about this will appreciate copper grease. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of grease. I'm using silicone grease. It handles high temperatures. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the back of these because it will help them stick in, hopefully. A bit on the front to let the pads slide up and down on them as well. Not too much. And they just go back in there. Same again with the other one. Okay. Let's get rid of the grease on my hands. Okay, new pads. Okay, these are the pads. This is EBC yellow stuff. I'm just going to give it a try. See if I can increase the stopping power of the car. These go on the back. Help to stop brake squeal. Brake pads don't always come with them, so if you have them on your car when you take the old pads off and you haven't got a new set, then reuse them. Sticky back. Take that and just clip it onto there. I'm just going to put a little bit of grease where the pad's going to slide, just at the ends. Now, sometimes these go in really easily, sometimes you have to struggle. That one went in really easily, which is great when you're doing a video. Okay. Another one for the back. Took the front one back out again because the back one was being a bit tricky. It's always easier to do the front one if they're being tricky, because you can see what's happening much more easily. There we go. That's both the brake pads on. Okay, so the next thing just to sort out the caliper. Right, these are the pistons. You see the Delica's got two. Now the reason we opened the reservoir is because we need to squeeze these back in, because they will have closed in as the old pads wore down. Now they are quite hard to squeeze back in. I'm just going to use one of these. If I squeeze just one, you'll see the top one comes out. You can squeeze them with almost anything. I tend to do it slowly. It doesn't require a great deal of force, but you might just have to wait a bit as the fluid goes back up in. These ones are moving great, which means the caliper's not seized or anything. It's perfect. There we go. If you try and do that with the reservoir still closed, it'll be a much harder job. Forget to do it, you won't be able to put the caliper back on. Okay, now this is protecting the slider bolt from getting dirt in this little rubber thing. I seem to have lost one. I'm not even sure how I managed to do that, so I've got to refit it without it for now and then find another one. But you should definitely not do that. So I should just squeeze into the hole at the back there. Let's just put my caliper out of the way for a second. Found the other one. Let's put the other one in. Okay, so I'm going to grease up carrier bolts. Let's get the bottom one in first. Just carefully slide it over your pads. Actually, we do the top one first. It makes attaching that a bit easier. It should just slide in. I'm not going to do it up straight away. I need to mess about with this thing. Do up your carrier bolts. do them up tight but not over tight. Okay, that one's done. Now on some cars the pistons don't just squeeze in, they have to be screwed back in. You can buy a little special tool from Alfred's or somewhere like that that you attach to it and just turn and the piston will go in. Normally it's the piston's flat on the front or a big hole like you saw on this one, if it's a push-in type, and if it's not it'll have some sort of pattern on the front to allow you to turn it. So I'm going to go on and do the other 3 corners. When you've done that, put the reservoir cap back on, get in and pump the brakes until they feel hard again, and that will close all the pistons onto the brake discs. Hey, I hope you've found this useful. Thanks very much for watching.